Hello guys, welcome to this week's episode of the Fireworks Show. In this week's episode, do not go anywhere because we're going to give you a comparison video of the Canon M20, the M200 and the Canon R10. Both great cameras, both can do different things, and in this video I want to show you, just give you a bit of a comparison, see which one you like, see which one is more fit for your purpose, and just ultimately show you how awesome those cameras are. So without further ado, let's go over to Cam 2. So we're going to start now with the Canon M200, which is a great little camera. We actually have the M100 here, which is pretty much the same. This is the older version. And what's really cool about this camera, if you want a first camera for either photography or video, the M200 is a really nice camera. And because it has a clean HDMI, you can live stream with this. This is really cool. And just before we carry on with both our cameras that we're talking about today, there will be links to these in the description, so if you want to check them out, go and check them out. And just before we carry on, I just want to say I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content for you to bring you absolute value. If that sounds interesting to you and you want to know about the best cameras for creators, subscribe now. Here we go, Cam 2. So with that out the further way, so this is a great little camera. It is a 24.1 megapixel camera. It will come with a 15-45mm lens, and it does have 3 or 4 very good lenses you can buy as well to change how you want to film, how you want to take your video, depending on what shot you want. It comes with a very nice 200mm or 300mm if you so wish for that longer shot. But I personally have found with video especially that mark, that sort of 15-45, especially when you put it to 15, gives a really nice sort of a nice focus on you. It makes the nice wide angle shots, so it's not too far away. It is technically a cropped image, but only slightly, and I'll be honest, I've made quite a few videos with this particular camera and it is really good. Now, as you can see in these pictures here, it does have a easy flip screen, which goes all the way up, which is really good for us creators. So it's looking at us, you can see what you're doing. So for a lot of us, we tend to be the directors and the cameramen or women, and so it's just handy to have that flip screen, make it really easy. And you can obviously interchangeable lenses, easy to record button. It has a flash on it as well, and takes really nice photos. I've used this camera actually on multiple day trips now, and it takes really nice photos, gives that really nice clear shot. And something I just want to show you briefly, just so you have this sort of the idea. So this is pretty much the same camera. The only sort of difference is between this and the M200 is obviously it's a little bit older, and it doesn't have a clean HDMI and a few more features. But what I really like about this camera is it's very easy to change the lenses, the easy record button, and it's very simple. It doesn't have lots of complex buttons on it. So if you're a novice or perhaps someone that just wants something simple away from your phone, this camera is definitely the one you want to check out. This is definitely a camera I would massively recommend as a creator. The only downside about this camera, though it does cost sort of $400 or $500, it doesn't have an external microphone jack. That's something to bear in mind, especially if you're recording outside. But for those of you that are just doing blogging or filming indoors, it's perfectly fine for you. I have filmed outside, and if it's a still day, it was okay. But just bear in mind, if you want an extra quality of sound, you might want to look at the camera that we're going to talk about in a moment. And I'll tell you what, that is a camera you want to check out. So we go back to camera 2 because we want to show you how awesome this camera is. So for under $1,000 now, the R10 is a camera you want to check out. You can now get it for now $971, and bear in mind that will change, and feel free to fish around. You don't have to take our link. I just want to be perfectly honest with you, there's only 4 left at this moment of this video, but that changes all the time, and there's much more lenses to this. Now what's really cool about the Canon R10, it obviously costs a bit more, but it does have that microphone jack, which is something you definitely will want if you want to, future proof your video as a content creator. If there's something you want particularly from your camera, so this will take great photos, great video in both HD and 4K. It is a 24.2 megapixel technically in the picture, but because it's non-crop, that means you get more of a wide angle shot regardless of the lens you use, so that's something to bear in mind. Now it does have more features, it does have more options. You can obviously, well, with both of them technically, you can play around the ISO, the shutter speed and all that jazz, but something that's really cool to note is the the HD and the 4K in this is really good, and it just really focus on your face really well, which is really nice to see. And what's really cool about the microphone jack is when you're recording outside, you don't get that annoying on your video, which is something that's hard to edit in post, so it makes recording much more easier. And it isn't too big, it isn't much bigger than the M200, so that's something to bear in mind. It's about sort of maybe slightly bigger than the M50, so that's something to think about when you want to look at this camera. But why do you want this camera? Well, it will take you to the next level. It's 18-45mm as a kit lens that comes with it, which is a very good lens. Obviously you can interchangeable that with older lenses, with any lens that you want. It does have the RFS mount, so obviously make sure you've got the right mount for that. Obviously you can get a mount adapter if you have an older lens, or if you've got a particular lens you want to use, and you can within reason, as long as you've got the right mount or it connects to the camera. You can use lots of different lenses, giving you lots of options as both a keen photographer and a content creator or filmmaker. So the R10 really is an all-rounder. If you just look at some of these pictures, so it does have the changeable screen, the touch screen that will turn to the side, a bit like the M50. And what's really cool about that, obviously, as a content creator, if you're filming by yourself, you know, you can see what you're doing. It has a nice viewfinder if you want to take cool photos. Obviously you can click the microphone on the top, has lots of cool little buttons. And one little thing I do like about this actually is because it does have that, there is a self-focus button, which is really cool on the camera. And something I do really like about this, it's just really easy to change the batteries, put in the SD card. It's very light to hold, and that's something to really think about when you want a camera that would take you to the next level. So if you want a camera that's going to future-proof you for the next 2 or 3 years, I would massively recommend the Canon R10. It's an absolutely banging camera, something I highly recommend. And it does have clean HDMI, so you can stream with this camera, and the focus on it is absolutely superb. So go and check it out. If you haven't already, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content about the best cameras for creators. Does that sound interesting to you? Don't forget to subscribe now, and feel free to check our merch if you'd like to support the growing channel. And for all of you that watch each and every week, I want to thank you so much for watching. And in a moment after the ad about our merch, I'm going to leave you 2 end cards that are going to give you absolute value. If you would like to help our brand, we've got t-shirts, we've got mugs, and from time to time we add to the list. So go check it out, link in the description. And also if you want to support the channel, like and subscribe this video.